Hi everybody, Double Meta here with part, 27, I think, of me going through my favorites list on fanfiction.net. You know the deal, sorted by publication date. I'm rereading all my favorite stories and seeing if they still deserve that title. I'm in the middle of August 2007 right now, so still got a while to take before. I think I've done maybe 15% at this point of the stories on my list, but I'm not even sure about that. I think I'm still around 10, but we'll see. Alright, so let's just get right into this with Once More with Feeling by Crazy88. And this is essentially a Evangelion time travel fic. You know, third impact happens and Shinji says, like, I want to go back, but Rei and the Lilith interprets that as going back to the beginning of the story, and he goes to try and help as much as he can. And he's not a perfect hero. He's still like the same person at the end of Eva, which, I mean, granted, is pretty far ahead of where he was at the beginning of the story. But he's not some magic, like, solve everything hero. He still has problems. He still has doubts and everything, but and that makes it more interesting. You know, it makes it feel more like he's actually trying instead of just, oh, he's got the win all button, he's just magically become a Mary Sue. The way the author goes into each of the characters and how they evolve, each of the pilots and how they grow as people is interesting, and I was super loving this story. It's not finished, and when I realized that, I was super bummed out. I was like, shit, it's not finished, damn. I really wish it was more, but the fact that it gave me that reaction when seeing that it wasn't done shows me that, like, I really enjoyed what was here, and I definitely go back and reread it. I recommend this, and it's staying on my list. Right. Next is actually somewhat, I guess I'd say he's pretty important in the fanfiction scene. It's the Harry Potter Omake Files, Innortal style, by Innortal. And Innortal is an important writer because I believe he is the one who basically created a genre of fanfiction. There's this essential style of genre called the infinite time loops, or even on the TV tropes page, it's also called the Innortal style time loops. And basically the idea is that something happened with the main fabric of the universe, and all the universes are now looping in time, with one main person being like the main anchor point who's always looping. In the Harry Potter universe's case, Harry Potter. And it's meant to be used as a jumping off point to do whatever little scene you want to make, or if you want to make an extended story, you can. But the idea is, like, okay, just you have the point that they've been looping for a very long time. You don't know when, and it's just, okay, so you can have whatever superpowers you want to do that and just do some random shit where they act out of character. This isn't just that. There is, like, a bunch of earlier chapters which are just random omakes, which are also funny, but the main thing is the time loops. And the whole idea of the time loops I love so goddamn much. This isn't his first one, and I think the original one was Ranma. Ranma is, like, I have stories of him, but he's not as big as of a thing for me, so I don't think I've actually read the Ranma loops, but I'm sure there's a couple other time loop fics on my favorites list, but I love this, and the concept is great, and the random actions that go on with this, and even the single omakes earlier on, these are all fantastic. Omake Files in general, as long as, you know, I laugh more than I don't, I will enjoy them a lot. So yeah, this stays on my list. Though I'm gonna take those words right in my mouth with this next one, which is Ike's Odd One-Shots, Omakes, and Ideas by MogtheGnome. And again, yeah, so this is another Omake style, and I will admit, if you go just by chapter-wise, I did laugh more than I didn't, but here the thing is, the reason I laughed is mainly because of 3 ideas that he had, and one of those ideas he basically put into like 5 chapters. So there's 5 chapters of that. The one idea only had 1, and another idea only had 2. And of those 3 ideas, 2 of them have been exported into their own stories. One of them is actually in this video. So I don't see a reason to keep this on my list, as it's only the other one idea that I really enjoyed. But hey, this one's still, the good thing is he's still writing. This one was recently updated like 2 months ago, so maybe there'll be more. And it's not just Naruto, as like the description says, there's more stuff in there. He's basically he uses it for everything. It's just originally it was only Naruto. It's fine, like I said, but I only found a couple ideas interesting, and those ideas have been out in other stories anyway, so I don't see a point in keeping this on my list. Another dogbertcarroll fic comes up next, is Walking in the Shadows. So this is basically another kind of dimension hopping fic where Xander from Buffy and Sirius Black somehow end up meeting each other and just end up going on a road trip that takes them across various universes and various dimensions. The universes they end up going to are fun. You know, you get like alternate Buffy universes, alternate Harry Potter universes, and then you get a couple other ones. Like I think right now it's in the middle of a DC universe. I super enjoy this a lot. The whole idea of jumping universes and like the power of the kaleidoscope's like, you know, this isn't using kaleidoscope, this is using the blood of the amber, which I know it's another thing that lets you jump universes, but I haven't read that book series, so I don't know. But like that kind of thing is like really hits me hard. It's my jam. So that gives extra points for me. But I really enjoy this. It last updated in December, so I'm hoping he's still going, because I know he made a couple other, in his other, you know, Omake files, he's made like failed scenes that didn't work out, and those were released like earlier this year. So I think he's still writing this, and I hope it continues, because I love this. So I recommend it a lot. Check it out for a good time, and yeah, it stays on my list. And that's followed by Lost Son of Konoha by Fury Cutter. Basically, Naruto gets banished after the Sasuke retrieval thing, and then becomes Cloud somehow. And alright, so there's that. And then this story picks up 15 years after that, after Advent Children and all the Final Fantasy stuff has occurred. And as, like, you know, he just ends up back at Konoha through like a delivery mission. This story has a lot of action scenes. Fair warning, I didn't finish it. I got through the first 2 arcs of this story, which is like 15 chapters, I guess. And basically 70% of those 15 chapters were action scenes, fights. And okay, like, I guess, but it becomes a little tiring and tedious just seeing fight after fight after fight. And it makes it hard to get story, you know, because it just, the way he delivers plot is just like clumsily like stopping the fight to just say exposition, and it's really weird and irritating. And the main plot itself, especially at least up to the 2 arcs that I went through, the one thing that describes it best is Spider-Man's Clone Saga. And oh my god, there's like 3 different Narutos. There's an army of clones of Naruto that do this, and the people, who's the real Naruto, all this. I mean, he explains that the story to the reader that who the real Naruto is automatically, so he kind of loses that impact. But it's it's not fun. I didn't really care about the thing either. It's okay. The action scenes are okay. If you just want to see like a Naruto's Cloud fic with like a bunch of action and then gets constantly interrupted by weird exposition, you can do that. But for me, it was just not worth my time. And yeah, it's going to get kicked off my list. Okay. Moving on to a fic that is interesting. And basically that was a bunch of short fics. Each a Fantasy by Digifruit. And you can tell what I said, I did like this fic. It's a short story that basically, like Naruto, you know, he hates Jiraiya. He's fed up with Jiraiya just researching all the time for Icha. So he's like, okay, I'm gonna write my own book, and he writes it, and then the people know how to read it and stuff like that. That's basically it. Like, it's basically, he writes the story, people read it, and then they react to the story. You get bits of the story that he's written, basically like plot synopsis of it, like very high level plot synopsis. But even with just that sounds like a really great story that I wish was actually written down. It would be pretty damn interesting. And then it gives a more emotional response when we see that the actions that are occurring in real life, or in the main line of the story, start mirroring what happens in the book, and it becomes really, you know, kind of like heartbreaking and stuff like that. And it's really interesting, really nice. The character Sakura is like, if you don't like Sakura, you might not care as much. I'm not a huge fan, but I did enjoy this a lot, and I love it. So yeah, I recommend this super much. Definitely stays on my list. Okay, now again, now we got 2 single joke fics in a row from Clel65619. And this first one is Harry Potter and the Legitimate Businessmen. Again, this is a single joke where the punchline is more basically about what America considers to be Americans consider to be the most powerful driving force in the world. Basically, like, Harry goes out and then he finds out what the Dark Lord's power is from America, and then everything just gets dealt with pretty damn easily. It's really fun. I laughed a lot. You know, just a quick joke, stays on my list. The second one, again, is Harry Potter and the Dark Lord Prevention Tech. Again, another quick joke. I loved it super much, and yeah, it's basically too much like Luna's brilliant idea. That's great, and also just the explanation for Dark Lords and how to solve it. Super wonderful, super funny, logicked perfectly well. I love this a lot, and it stays on my list. Right. The final one for this video is The Great Romantic by MogtheGnome. And this is, like I said, there were 2 stories in that collection that got expanded into full stories. This is one of them. And The Great Romantic is... It's another story that put a smile on my face when I started reading it, and that smile didn't go away until I finished. Super fun, like, basically Naruto... During the Zabuza fight, Zabuza's like, hey, when you defeat a swordsman of the mist, you get their sword, so here, take it. And Naruto doesn't know how to use a sword, doesn't want to use a sword, so he gives it to Tenten, and that just makes the Konoha rumor hero blow up. And everybody's like, oh, Naruto must love Tenten, and then just all this super amazing, like, random, ridiculous love story, romantic comedy starts going on where all the girls now start wanting Naruto, and he doesn't even realize it. He's just collecting swords, and, like, the actions he does is, like, accidentally just furthering the plot of this romantic comedy that he doesn't know he's in. It's super great. I love it. Sadly, it's also not completed. He had taken a long-ass break and then published a chapter in 2014, and in that chapter he said, like, there was maybe, like, 1 or 2 left, plus an epilogue. But again, that's been 5 years since he's written this. But he did just release, like I said, in that Omake collection, he just started writing again last month. So it could conceivably finish, but I don't know. But what's still there is super fun. It's still entirely enjoyable to see, like, super denseness and the over-the-top ridiculousness of every single character in this thing. I love it, and yeah, it's staying on my list. So there we go, another set of fics done. This brings me to 161 stories that I've read, and 94 have stayed on my list, so that's still batting over 500, so... Alright. There we go. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please leave a like, comment. All the links, not links, but URLs for the stories are in the description below. If you want to, you know, read any of them, if you want to follow my journey, there's a playlist that has this from the beginning. If you want to see all of them, if you want to get up notifications when this comes up, please subscribe, do all that, you know, ring the bell. And thanks for watching. I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.